got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. How are y'all? I hope you had an amazing weekend. I did, and thanks for asking. It was amazing with my fast. But it was amazing. You like the new background? That's for Halloween. 15 days away. It was created by the one, the only, Hake baby, Nick. Thank you, Nick.
Amazing.
It looked creepy. I'm scared. I was just so scared. You can get involved by calling 888-7753, 773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And also, if you're out and about, working out, whatever you're doing, in a war on both sides of the borders, you can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us, JLP Talk, on X, better known as Twitter, but now X. And Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, and blah, blah, blah. All right? So yesterday, fellowship, once again, was amazing. It was mind-blowing. It really, really was. If you were not there and you didn't get a chance to catch it live on the net, because you could watch it live, the fellowship live, anywhere in the world. The whole wide world. And so if you didn't catch it, go to rebuildingtheman.com/church. rebuildingtheman.com/church. All right? And catch it there. It was mind-blowing. We dealt with, why are you afraid of anyone on earth? Why are you afraid of anyone on earth? The last week biblical question. And then we dealt with that and a whole bunch of other stuff. It was fellowship, like 90 going north. It was amazing. Brand new biblical question for this week. And it's another doozy. Brand new biblical question for this week. What is your what is the I'm about to wait till you get it. You have it? What is the, sorry about the slow move there, folks. What is the boomerang in your life? What is the boomerang in your life? Y'all know what a boomerang is. I don't know if they still make them or not, but they used to make them and they were fun. You would throw them and they would come back to you. What is the boomerang in your life? You ever thought about that? What is the boomerang in my life? Amazing, huh? Brand new biblical question. And again, these questions are put there to encourage you to think for yourself and know thyself. Most people don't think on these things. They think on everything but that. What you're going to wear, where you're going to eat, who your friends are, who your family members are, and blah, blah, who love you, who don't love you. Amazing. To donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com, buymeacoffee.com, rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, and Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. All right? Amazing. So I have bad news. Well, I have good news and I have bad news for you. I have good news and I have bad news. Which do you want first? The bad news or the good news? The background today is the same color my shirt. You notice that? Can you tell?
It's as if it was all planned.
Yeah. What the? It's the exact same color, the blue, the brownish. What the?
Lazy.
So, Hassan, I have good news, I have bad news and good news. Which do you want first?
Always hit me with the bad first.
Bad news and good news. Listen up. Take a moment. Stop frying the bacon. Cut the music down. Turn the music down. And listen up. I have bad news for you. And good news. You say you want the bad news first?
I mean, you gotta always go with the bad first.
How come?
That's just, I don't know, that's just how I roll.
What's wrong, Hake? Hake said you don't have to go with the bad news first.
I mean, you don't have to, I'm just.
You can hear the good news. Bad news stay on your mind. Hake, what do you want first? The bad news or the good news? Hake want the good news first. What the? I have bad news and I have good news. Or I have good news and I have bad news. Ask Joel which one he want first. He be like, Hake, ask Joel which he want first. The bad news or the good news?
Hey, my shirt kind of matches the background too.
Oh, it sure does. What the? I missed the email on that. This was accidentally. Not accidentally, I just put that on first. Joel Fry just said he want the bad news first.
Nice.
He's stronger than Hake. I have bad news. Did you watch yesterday Fellowship? It was amazing. I have bad news and I have good news. Or I have good news and I have bad news. Hake said, I won't be able to hear the good news because my mind will be occupied with the bad news. And Joel Friday said, all news is good news. In the name of Jesus. What the?
The gospel.
So I have bad news and I have good news for every human being on this side of heaven. For every human being, it applies to everyone. You, me, and your mama, and your daddy, and your children, and your husband, and your wife, and your friends, and your co-workers or workers, your boss, your president's wife, his mother, and everybody in Congress and Senate, everywhere. I have bad news and I have good news. So get ready. Bad news first. Every human being, are you listening? Because if you listen, it's going to change your life. Are you listening, Hassan?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. If you're listening, this will change your life. But if you're not listening, it won't change your life. And it's amazing. And it's so clear, I can hardly stand it. It's so clear, to me at least, it's automatic freeing up. You want to hear it, Anchor Baby? Yes, the Anchor Baby want to hear. We want to hear Sean, my producer. I'm waiting on Sean. Yes, please, you want to hear it. The bad news first. Which one you want first, Sean? The bad news or the good news? You want the bad, too. Everybody want the bad but Hake. That way it's only get better. Hake said he's older. You older than everybody else in the office, Hake? Whoa. I didn't know you were that old. He said bad news first. I always heard this growing up. That's what Nick said. So the bad news, I'll give you the bad news. Every human being, and it doesn't matter what you have or don't have, male or female, every human being is possessed with evil. You are possessed with evil. Every human being. You are possessed. You are not evil, but you're possessed with evil. And an example, and one example of proof that you're possessed with evil. There are many, but let me give you one first, and then maybe two or three more. One proof, without a doubt, is that you are possessed with evil, and that you live a life of past and future. You live a life of past and future. You live a life of time. That possession, which is pure evil to the core, that is directing you, it causes you to live in the past and or future. That's one thing, or maybe two things it does to you. Number three, it causes you It causes you to hate your fellow man. In spite of God telling you to love one another and treat everyone the way you would like to be treated, to love even your enemy. And I hear people tell me all the time, I love some, I love those who love me. I love some, I love those who treat me right. It didn't say that. It says love everyone. But you don't, because you're possessed. And because you don't love everyone, you love no one. Because the ones that treat you, quote unquote, nice, you don't love them. Your ego just pretend you love them because they make you feel good. You are possessed with evil. Christ talked about this while he walked the earth, that we are all possessed and needed a healing. But because in our mind we think of healing as a physical thing only, but it's spiritual. You are possessed with evil. That's what's controlling you, and you don't realize because you think it's you. And you hate your fellow man. And the evil give you excuses to hate your fellow man. Why you should hate him? It causes you to do it, and you do it. All in the name of Jesus, you do it. You are possessed with evil. And you hate your fellow man. Another example of being possessed. There are so many that I won't go on and on with them. You have fear and doubt. You're shy. You're insecure. You're looking for love. You you lie. You scheme. You want revenge. You think you're better than your fellow man. All kinds of things. Because you're possessed. And you call it you. Isn't that amazing? You're possessed. And amongst the so many, I could go on and on, but I won't, is that another sign of being possessed, you worship people, places, and things. You literally idolize, you worship human beings. When God said, have no other God before him, you say, okay, but you're lying. You worship. You don't even know how to appreciate the human being without the worship being in there. And then when things doesn't go your way with the person or people you're worshiping, you judge them. And you blame them for your idol worshiping. You worship religion. You worship this and you worship that. You are possessed with evil. And you call it you. You are possessed with excitement. Feel good, feel bad. I'm telling you, folks, the sooner you can realize that you're possessed, the sooner you will be free. And freedom cannot be imagined. It is not in your imagination. You cannot begin to imagine what freedom is, because every imagination of freedom is just a thought. And freedom is not in your thought. It's in your non-thoughts. It's not in thinking, period. If you think you're free, you're not. You are not. You are possessed with evil. So I can go on and on with examples of evil and you're being possessed. It's no wonder the world is in the mess that it's in. You're possessed and don't know it. It'll have you fighting in wars, and big wars like the one across the world, Israel and Palestine and Russia and wherever. But the war is happening all the time in you and outside of you, inside of others. It's crazy, but that's what's going on. It's nothing but that. And they give you all type of reasons and excuses why you're at war within yourself and against others. The good news. You want the good news? The good news is you can overcome the possession of evil and be possessed by good. Because there's no good in a human being. Human beings are no good. But there is good in overcoming evil. Overcome evil, you are clearly possessed by good. And in being possessed by good is a whole different story. And I can't give you the word to express the difference, but it is. I'll use some words, but don't let your imagination hold on to them, all right? Freedom. Freedom. Clear mind. A lack of nothing, but you have it all. Because when you have a clear mind, you have it all. There's nothing to worry about. And when the New Testament says take no thoughts about tomorrow, you literally do not take any thoughts about tomorrow or yesterday. You literally have no worries, no cares. Your burdens are light. Your way is made clear. When you overcome the possession of evil and become possessed by good, it's not your goodness. It's not my goodness. We don't have it. That's just reality. And it's not even us that's evil. You're not evil, but evil possesses your body and mind and body. But you are not evil up there in the higher level, the mindset of God. You are not evil, neither are you good. But you think you are one of the other, and you have issues. And everybody who has not overcome evil is playing a role in life. Everybody is playing a role. The whole world is a stage. I will encourage you, do what you want. And I realize most people are not going to accept it, and that's fine. Stay in your hell, stay in your evil ways, and suffer. Or get to know yourself and overcome it. And you can't even make yourself overcome it. But knowing that you're evil, you are possessed, will cause you to overcome it. Denying it will keep you in it. Confess it to yourself. Why do you think family members fight one another? They live together. They're married with children and in-laws and outlaws. And what do? They fight one another because they are possessed. And this is for Christians, Muslims, Jews, Gentiles, whatever religion you call yourself belong to, the reason you identify with religion is because you're possessed. The reason you take sides, you are possessed. Even if it doesn't involve you at all, you still take a side because you're possessed and you just can't leave. You know what? I'm fine. I don't know. I'm fine. I'm not a part of it. You take sides. And when you take sides, you hurt one another. And you feel good about it. But you could be free. You could truly be of good. You really can. It's so interesting that you could be of good. It's so mind-blowing to me. It takes some work, though, believe me, because you're so identified with being possessed and you think it's you, and you've been overreacting all your life. And that overreaction to situations in life connects you even more with evil. If you stop overreacting, knowing that you're possessed and there's nothing you can do, you'll be free. You're possessed, folks, with evil, but you can be possessed with good. Why do you think other people try to hurt other people? They're possessed with evil. The people that try to hurt you are possessed, and your reaction to being hurt is you are possessed. So the bad news is every human being is possessed. Why do you think you're always looking for some form of excitement? All for the thrill of it, whether it's angry excitement, victimhood excitement, whatever excitement. Possessed people love victimhood excitement. It feels good to be a victim. It feels good to blame others for your life. It feels good to remember slavery and blame slavery on your life. It had nothing to do with you. You don't even know slavery. You're enslaved for thinking that way. It's good to blame racism or white supremacy or anti-Semitism or all this stuff they go, abortion. All for the thrill of it. You're possessed. You are possessed, and you can overcome it if you take control of your own life and start paying attention to what's going on with you. And you worship other people, you don't know how to even appreciate other people. I appreciate other people's talent. That's when I hire people in my company, I want to know, what is your talent? Let me see your talent. And we put all the talents together and make amazing things happen. And yet not us, but the Spirit of the Father in us. I appreciate the talent, but I also see what's going on with the person. And I don't judge the person because I now understand. When you have an understanding, above all things, get an understanding. What can I understand from this situation, that situation? Not what I can get from it, but what can I understand from it? Above all things, get an understanding. Just think about your own life. Reflect and see how much hell you have caused and how much hell been put upon you. Because you're possessed with evil. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. Let me take a quick break. 888-77-53773. William Shakespeare wrote, "All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely plays. They have their essence and their interest, and one man is in his time plays many parts." Back in a moment. Thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. You know, freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free, just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing. Okay, welcome back. 888-77-53773. Amazing stuff, huh? Get to know yourself, and you're going to see, if you want to see it, that you are possessed and that you're not in control. It is not you that causes you to do the things that you do. You're possessed, folks. We all are possessed by evil, and then you can overcome and be possessed by good. It's not your goodness. Likewise, it's not your evil. But you think that it is, and you call it good. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. TheHakeReport.com. From 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time, and at 12 noon Pacific time, the American Anchor Babe. The American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. I want to give you a quick example of what happens when you're possessed. And every human being is possessed by evil. And when they repent of the heart, they can be possessed by good. And evil will disappear. You will no longer be possessed by evil. Isn't that amazing? You can literally be right here on earth and not be possessed by evil. They call it born again. You need a brand new nature. Your old nature is evil, the nature you're in now. And old things must be passed away, and all things are new. All things become new. It's mind-blowing. It's just so mind-blowing. And can't no one do it for you? Can't no one travel this road with you? You must do it alone. You must do it alone. And every human being, it doesn't matter what type of job you have, how much money you have or don't have, how much whatever, right? As William Shakespeare wrote, all the world is a stage. Lord knows that that's true. The whole world is a stage, and everyone is playing a part. The stage is set and the curtain goes up. And the scene is a broken heart. The whole world is a stage, and everyone plays a part. The stage is set, the curtain goes up. The scene is a broken heart. Everyone plays it. Everyone plays it. As William Shakespeare wrote, all the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely are players. And all the men and women merely players. They have their essence and their interests. And one man in his time plays many parts. Lord knows that that's true. What the? And everyone, every president, vice president, movie star, whatever you want to call them, they're possessed. That's why we have wars. Human beings are possessed. And they make up excuses why we have war. They're lying to you. They make up excuses why one race should hate another race. They're lying to you. Devils encouraging devils. Because the devil wants everyone in his play. He wants you to be a part of his play. And if you try to quit the play, he inside of you and he inside of others go nuts. They will not let you get away. At least they'll try not to, but you can get away. You really can. From this day forward, know thyself, appreciate one another, but don't worship. There is an appreciation, and there's nothing wrong with appreciation in a clear mind. And you won't worship, but you appreciate. I'm grateful. I like your talent. I appreciate what you do. And some of you, a whole lot of you, worship celebrities. You worship celebrity. You can't appreciate the talent that they have. You have to worship them. And they make you worship them. They present themselves with bright lights and all those things so that you can worship them because they're possessed too with evil. And they get a false thrill of you worshiping them. I appreciate good talent, but I also see what's going on. You worship them. And then when you find out that they're not who in your mind you thought they were, you worship them again by hating them. And you never look to say to yourself, why was I worshiping them? They didn't tell me to. I worship them. They're not to blame. I did that. You never take responsibility. You love the title. You love knowing about the title of someone else. And Lord knows if you have close contact, it's over. There's a way to appreciate one another without worshiping. And you worship entertainers. If you want to be free, you have to overcome evil. Only you can do it. Nobody else can take it away from you. They can point the way to freedom, but they can't take it away from you. That's why I tell you, if you want to be free, you must forgive. You need a brand new heart. And you must forgive mama. Do you know the hardest person on this side of heaven for evil people to forgive is their mama? It's their mama. They'll act like they forgive everybody but mama, and they'll make up all kinds of excuses not to forgive mama. And it's not them that's making it up, but their father in them, the devil. The one thing that you can do to be free, he taught you out of it. Write a letter. Do it later. Do it in your heart. Don't face mama. Every black person that's complaining in America today and around the world, and the reason they can't seem to get up and be individuals, but love being victims, they hate their mothers. And they're yearning for the father. And they hate their mothers. And they blame it on the white man. Have you noticed that colored people have joined forces? And not all, but most. People of so-called color, right? Have joined forces to go after the white man around the world. Even the Jewish white man, they're going after them too. Right now, the most hated people on this side of heaven are Jewish people and white people. And then blacks and others have encouraged not all, but most colored people to join forces with them to hurt their fellow man. And nothing good is going to become of it. But anyway, that's what it's all about. They are blaming others because they are possessed and they cannot see. You have black people call themselves black Israelites or something like that. Black Jews and black Israelites and black this. They're blind. They're possessed. And they try to be better than the white Jews. And they all read the same Bible, I guess, and quote the same scripture. And they're just scripture. That's all it is. It hasn't changed their hearts at all. If it did, they wouldn't try to be like someone else. Or better than someone, or less. Anyway, stop worshiping your idols. For example, a lot of people into Will Smith and Jada Smith. This is from Page. Will Smith and Jada Smith have had a rocky romance through the years. The pair, who started dating back in 1995 and have 2 children together, haven't shied away from sharing their struggles. They have the same struggles you have. It's just that they're on TV and you can see them, and so you don't see their struggles, you see idol worshiping. Movie star. And you worship them, and they're going through the same hell that you are. And they try hard to keep you from knowing that because they need you to worship them because they're so miserable. They're possessed by evil. And talk about pushing boundaries. The New York Post, that first story from page 6, the New York Post, in a 2019 video, Will Smith gave a warning to his wife, Jada, with some viewers claiming the star looks uncomfortable and anxious as he speaks with his wife. Watch this from Instagram.
How Esther Farrell is coming to the table. She's going to be at the red table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my goodness.
If you could film me.
Esther, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Don't. No, because she don't just.
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start rolling. I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
A disobedient wife. He should dump her right then and there. And you worship them. And worshiping them makes you feel a little better. It makes you feel a little better. Because when you worship them, you identify with them and you get a thrill from it. And they're going through hell in their own lives. And the same hell you are in. Filming him and he doesn't want it. Don't do it. Oh my God. She's doing it anyway. Why would you marry a woman that will not obey you? Think about that. You're in your hell. On the very first date, sitting there having coffee, will you obey me? If we end up getting married, would you obey me? Obey? No. Okay, bye. Conversation done. Just leave and let her take Uber home. Because you're going to end up with situations like that or worse. According to 7 News, Jada and R&B singer August Alsina became romantic 6 years ago, despite their 21-year age gap and Jada marital status. Watch this from hip hop.
During that time, launched into an interaction with August. What do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good.
See?
It had been so long since I felt good. And it was really a joy to just help heal somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that has a lot to do with my codependency, which is another thing that I had to learn to break in this cycle. Just that idea of needing to fix and being drawn to people that need help, whether it's your health or whether it's your addictions. There's something about that childhood trauma that feels as though it can be fixed through fixing people.
Amazing. And he said there, They have no idea what they're talking about. She can't fix nobody. She just want to feel good. Doesn't it feel good to feel like you're fixing someone and you can't even fix yourself? Every human being on this side of heaven is possessed with evil. You are possessed with evil. And nothing, nobody can change it. No Dated Austin gonna change it. She's still miserable. Amazing, huh? It's the same problem you have, everyone has, who are possessed. You're trying to feel good. And even a bad feeling to you is feeling something, so you feel good with a bad feeling. Some of you might remember when this boy Will Smith punched Chris Rock. This is from page 6. Will stood up for his wife at the Oscars in March 2020 when Chris Rock poked fun at Jada, bald head, amidst her alopecia struggle. Watch this from E.T.
Oh, Richard! Oh, wow! Wow!
The feed goes silent, and so does the audience after Will Smith takes a swing at Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars. It all went down after Chris made a crack about Will's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, and her shaved head. While Will appears to laugh at first, things immediately turn sour as he takes to the stage, slapping Chris straight across the face. Will shouting at the top of his lungs, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth." Will got a chance to address the incident when he won the Best Actor honor, his first ever Academy Award.
You got to be able to have people talk crazy about you. In this business, you got to be able to have people disrespecting you. but love will make you do crazy things.
That ain't love, buddy. I can think of many things to call that, and it's not love. Love would not have done that. Hate does that. And you worship them. Will Smith, Jada Smith, they all have the same problem that every human being on earth has. They may have a little bit more money, maybe. They may live a little bit higher on the hill, maybe. But they have the same spiritual issue. They're possessed. And that's why they're acting out in that way. No love. Evil. Or you're possessed with evil. That's what makes you not love one another. And you can't wait to attack. You get the thrill of attacking. Page 6's reporter Smith said the revelation kind of woke him up, adding that the actress was more resilient, clever, and compassionate than he had understood. Yeah, right. You're possessed, folks. You think you're smart, and you're not. Every human being, the Father said, God, even his son Jesus said, you all must be born again. There's not one exception. Not one. It has nothing to do with color. It has nothing to do with male or female. It has nothing to do with rich or poor. It has nothing to do with black or white. It has nothing to do with jobs or no jobs. It's all evil. It's evil. You're possessed. You're not on your own. And you're being controlled by evil. And once you overcome it, most people are not going to overcome it. I already know that, and it's accepted. And it's okay. I understand it. Most people are not going to overcome evil. A few will. And even with the 1,000 that you tell you can overcome and be free, a handful will work on themselves. Most will not. Some pretend, but they will not. Charles is out of Texas. Charles, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How you doing, Jesse?
All is well, Charles.
All right. I've called before several times, and I've been calling since probably about 2017 when I first heard you. It's completely changed my life and probably others around me. And I'm sure with other people, too, because of, like the guy said in the promo, you change minds, and it affects people. Well, I called because, if you saw in the preview of what I wanted to say, after this terrorist attack that Monday, you made a statement, and I saw in the comments somebody said that you kind of went overboard. It wasn't the same.
Can you hold for me, Charles?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, hold on. 888-7753-773. 888-77-Jesse. I can't believe this time gone by already. An hour. What the? 2 more hours to go. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news, but the hate news. I'll be back in a moment, folks, to your phone calls and super chats. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, and individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
crazy war going on right now between Israel and Hamas. Did you know that? And a Polish or Slavic or something landlord allegedly stabbed a Muslim kid to death and stabbed his mother a bunch of times too, but didn't kill her. At least not reportedly. A hate crime, allegedly. No, I disavow it. This is the end of hour 1 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Monday. Everybody loves Mondays, right? October 16th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour 2. JLP will be right back to your calls. And there is one line open. You can call in right now. And he will get to you. But first, Hake news, not fake news. By the way, Women's Forum is third Thursday of the month, October 19th, I believe, 2023, 7 p.m. at Bond in Los Angeles, rebuildingtheman.com/events. The Israel-Hamas drama, Commie Nonsense Network, and the far-left female-run outlet The Skim report the humanitarian crisis in Gaza has gotten worse. Complete catastrophe, say aid workers. It's been over 1 week since Hamas's deadly terror attacks, they call them. October 7th, allegedly killing 1,400 people in Israel. Since then, Israel has warned more than 1 million Gazan residents to flee south as they prepare to escalate their attack on Hamas in the north. The evil UN warned that mass evacuation was not possible without devastating humanitarian consequences, whatever that means. Israel extended their deadline, having yet to begin a potential ground invasion on Sunday. Biden warned Israel against occupying Gaza, taking it over and keeping it, in one of the most notable public calls for restraint, calling the potential move a big mistake. Supposedly, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has invited Biden, Sleepy Joe, to visit Israel soon. So Corrupt Joe might go to Israel. 500,000 residents have left the northern part of the region in Gaza. Many have stayed back, though, afraid to leave their homes, given reports of violence, airstrikes on the few roads south. Last week, Hamas claimed that Israel strikes killed 70 people and injured 200 as they fled south. Some are also concerned leaving home could lead to permanent displacement, like in 1948 when, Israel was born. Meanwhile, Hamas told residents to stay, dismissing Israel's warnings as psychological war. Now, medics in Gaza are reportedly warning that thousands of patients in hospitals could die with the shortage of fuel and supplies. Doctors and journalists still working through near continuous airstrikes supposedly killed more than 2,600 people, by the way, since last Saturday in Gaza. Reportedly including at least 700 children under 18 anyway. Over the past week, Israel cut off access to fuel, food, water, electricity, I think. Yesterday, in apparent response to pressure from the Biden administration, Israel reopened access to water in southern Gaza. But the country has continued to siege on fuel and electricity. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Antony Blinken said the Rafah border crossing between Egypt and Gaza will open for those with foreign passports. The goal is to allow humanitarian aid that's been sitting around to get in and give some to the option to leave. Not clear how long Rafah will be open and if people will be allowed to return. Egypt has supported humanitarian aid into Gaza through Rafah, but the country reportedly won't agree to take Gazan refugees based Egypt. They worry Hamas militants could join civilians, posing security risks. Egyptian officials also fear that an exodus, of Palestinians could overwhelm their country. Yup. Reportedly already home to 9 million so-called refugees. If they're refugees, they're not home by definition. But anyway, despite being a mediator between Israel and the Palestinians, Egypt has long wanted both sides to resolve their own conflict within their own borders, not spill over into Egypt. The death toll in Gaza in 8 days has surpassed the 2014 Gaza war, lasting 50 days, expected to climb as Israel prepares for potential ground invasion. And that hate crime, a 6-year-old boy, Muslim boy, was killed in Illinois, and the guy's 71-year-old male is charged with a hate crime. He stabbed the mother, too. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP.
to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show already. What's up? You can get involved by calling 888-7753, 773-888-77-JESSE. Brand new biblical question. Brand new. What is the boomerang in your life? What is the boomerang in your life? Amazing question, huh? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about doing what you're doing and you don't have time to sit and watch the show, of course you can podcast it if you can't watch it live, but you can be listening on your iPhone or iPad, no matter what you're doing. Even if you're trying to go south out of Palestine right now, you can be listening to the show because we are heard around the world by everybody and their mama. So call 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us, cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy.tv/JLP. And Rumble. You got to know how to rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe, and all those things. Y'all know what to do. And don't forget to donate and have your comments read out loud at buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. And rebuildingtheman.com/store. Rebuildingtheman.com/store. Before I go back to Charles here, and I'm going to get to all your calls. I for some reason, I skipped one of my sound bites about how because every human being is possessed with evil, you worship everything but God. You make idol worshipers, and he tell you not to, you make it. Some of you make idol worship out of the Bible. What the? But I played you the sound bites, but I, for some reason, overlooked this one. This is from today. Today. Jada Smith. She and Will Smith have been separated and have lived completely separate lives since 2016. Watch this from today.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
right,
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
yes,
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
This interview was taped a year after Will and Jada separated.
So how long have you guys been together?
23 years.
How do you keep it hot?
How do I keep it hot? Maybe I don't know.
Over the next several years, Jada and Will kept up the appearance of a committed married couple. Neither let the public know they had already split.
Still trying to figure out between the two of us how to be in partnership in regards to how do we present that to people. By the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were both kind of still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be.
Amazing. And you worship them. She got some hair there. I thought she was alopecia. What the? I guess alopecia hair come and go. He slapped that man for no reason. This guy got some hair. What the? Anyway, I want to go back to Charles. Amazing stuff, huh? Look, folks, it doesn't have to be that way. Get to know yourself. Know thyself. You are your world. How are you going to live in your world? How will you live? In hell in your world or heaven in your world? I present to you both death and life. And life. Choose life. But no, you want to choose death. Amazing, huh? Let me go quickly back to 888-7753-773. Charles out of Texas, you wanted to say something about the war between Palestine and Israel.
Due to time, I'm going to make this quick. Okay. You said something about black people having the same spirit of those Palestinians that went in and killed the Israelis. And I agree with you. At the time, I didn't because I thought it was a little bit too far. But after discussing it with a lot of people, black, white, I think an Indian, after discussing it with a lot of people, mostly black people have a cowardice about them when it comes to this topic of terrorism in terms of the Palestinians and Israelis. When I talk to people, I feel the evil coming off of them to a certain degree. It's a bad energy. They wish and lived through those people of Hamas on what they did to those Jews, and they wish they could have done it here, or wish they could still do it here, probably. I don't know. But I sense it, and they don't say it directly, but they say, I stand with Hamas. Hamas, the Palestinians, they never did me wrong. They never done nothing to me. Those Israelis, they just snap. They take over people. They mess over with their money and all this other kind of stuff. There's a certain level of jealousy when it comes to the Jews as far as black people are concerned as well. When it comes to Jews, black people look at them and say, God damn, we want all of the sympathy. We want people to feel sorry for them. And those specific words people have said, they want people to feel sorry for them. That is the exact same thing that black people want in America. They want sympathy instead of working hard, instead of getting out there grinding, all this stuff with affirmative action to give us a hand up and all that kind of stuff. And they look at the Jews and say, God, why are they getting all this attention? And it is a competition that they look at that the Jews probably not in with them because they are, for the large part of the majority, are successful. And a lot of these people want people to boost them up and want them to hand them things and give them things for them to get on that level without putting in the work. People might not like the Jews, but they work together. They work hard. They get to where they are, And, I think a lot of black people wish that they could do those types of things and get to that level without putting in the work. And
you make a good point.
In conclusion, when on Friday, I was on hold, I was waiting, and I had to wait till this weekend. And I'm glad that happened because it gave me some more time to think. You brought your experts in, and you asked them what they thought about the situation. And I say this with all love in my heart and everything, but it sounds bad and it's critical. But I say this with all love and intention. I was very disappointed, sorely disappointed, because I wanted something from one way or the other, but a lot of people stood on the fence. Hassan did not stand on the fence. Hassan took a side, and he said the Jews, they control the media, and they got white people in this country. There's food about, the Israelis and the Palestinians, and people don't see this and see that and all this other kind of stuff. And I understand why people take a side. Because like the black Israelites, if I was to tell you, I'm Israeli now, you probably look at me and say, you Jewish? And I say, yes. You say, oh, come on now. And the same way I look at Hassan somewhat when he says that he's Christian or believes in Jesus. And I'm not one to judge. Maybe that's the evil within me. But also I know that he's Arab. I also know that he has the Allah Akbar blood in him. One thing that we do know in this world is that we do not criticize those people publicly. We do not say anything critical that will get us shot, blown up. We don't draw pictures of Muhammad. We don't do those type of things. And at some degree, it's admirable because we don't defend Jesus Christ that way. We don't go to that extent. We're too tolerant to a certain degree when it comes to the Christian religion, And I think that when when you see the things that happen and you try not to be emotional about it, and you don't want to be emotional about it, you say some things are right and some things are wrong. There's a way of doing things that get things done, and there's a way that will not get things done. I think if Hamas, if they were, heartfelt intentions about helping the Palestinian people, maybe they would try to cut some deal. If the Israelis were heartfelt about trying to help the Palestinians or, to get them out of, where they are or make them on the same place, maybe they would be honest and brokering their deals. I don't know. All I know is this. If anybody was to break into my house and do the things that those people did to them Israelis, I would do exactly what the Israelis are doing. When I explain that to the blacks, I hate to say that term, the black, like I told you, to some black people, they were like, oh, man, the hell with them people. This, that, I don't care about that. Jesse, the negative energy that came, my cousin even said the same thing. And I told him, I said, and I didn't want to change anybody's mind. I was just listening. You know how you say, do silent prayer and you just listen and watch? Right. And that's exactly what I did in the situation because I know people are so passionate that you can't change minds on this, That's true. And I listened to my cousin, but because I love my cousin, I said, hey, man, you sound bad, bro. That sounds bad. When you're talking about babies getting shot in the chest in the crib and all that kind of stuff, all these people just get whole neighborhoods getting massacred. You think God loves that? You think God likes that? I don't care what happened on the church. You think God likes that? And I just left him there with his thoughts, And amazing. All I would say is, I'm done. I don't want to, like I say, because of time, I'll let you go on and say what you got to say. But I wanted to bring that comment out. And, that just that. And I want to answer your biblical question later on this week.
Let me ask you this.
Because I know because of time.
Let me ask this, Charles. You said that you believe Hassan has Allah Akbar blood in him?
Yes.
What the?
Yes. Yes.
Do you, Hassan?
Yes.
I also have Jewish blood in me too.
Yes.
So you do have Allah Akbar blood in you? Hold on, Charles. You do have Allah Akbar blood in you?
Well, I think he's referring to because my father is Arab, but so I guess by that, because he's Iraqi, I have Iraqi.
Oh my God!
Do you love the Jews?
I do love the Jews.
Oh, amazing!
I love everyone enough to tell the truth about them.
But see, this is the thing, Jesse. I understand what he's saying about telling the truth about the Jews, and I appreciate what he had to say about that. What he said on Friday was that the Jews control the media and all this other kind of stuff. And what I would challenge him with is, well, why are we seeing all this stuff about refugees, right? Because
but that kind of complaint about the Jews on everything, it's a sign of weakness, and it's the same thing that blacks says about white people. It's the same thing that that black says.
Agree with you.
And they feel like victims.
Agree.
So rather than, okay, if y'all control it, say, how did you get there? What's the secret? They complain. And it's evil when people do that. So I don't agree with that.
Yes. You see, all they're talking about is the refugees when the Jews go into Gaza. And they're talking about the humanitarian crisis right now. When the United States went to Iraq, and first rolled in there, you didn't hear nothing about refugees. All they talked about was people being happy. When they had the different side road bombs and all that kind of stuff. You never heard this much coverage about the refugees. When we go into Syria, you never hear this much coverage about the refugees.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that the Jews don't run the media, because I believe that a lot of them do. And I'm not 100% disagreement with Hassan, right? But I'm looking at this coverage, and I don't think that this is the type of coverage that the Jews will probably want to see. I don't hear nothing about the hostages. You don't hear nothing about hostages.
The one thing, Charles, the one thing I want to say is that if people had love in their hearts, they would try to show people how to overcome, not complain about what they have or don't have. But if you're blind, you're just looking at the physical things of the world, and you think somehow or another complaining about the physical thing going to make you feel better, make you better, when it really makes you worse than the people that you complain about. And I've been trying to tell the blacks that for 33 years now, that their problem at all is not what somebody else has or don't have, or what they control or don't control. Your problem is your life. You're not taking control of your own life because you're so busy sitting in the city of David looking at somebody else and complaining. It's amazing.
You hit the nail right on the head.
Yeah.
What everybody else said, what Hake said, what Joel said, like I said, I've already addressed those. But there was another fellow on there, I don't know his name. He said, I want to do what's in the best interest of the United States. And I totally agree with him on that.
Oh, that was Sean, my producer.
Yeah, I totally agree with him. I thought he was spot on. Yeah. I thought what you said on Friday, a week and a half ago, you said that the Israelis have the right man in the job, right man in the position of prime minister for the job of this that went down with the killings and all that kind of stuff. They got the right man for the job in them. What I want to say, Hassan, I love you in Jesus Christ, right? And I hold no ill will. I hope you don't hold no ill will toward me. It's just an opinion, man. And that was it. I want to stay on good terms with everybody, and that's it, man. That's all I had to say today.
Thank you, Charles. Amazing.
No problem.
I appreciate it. Nice for you back. That was deep. Listen, folks, you are possessed with evil, and that's why you sit on the sideline and just look at the physical, and you complain about the physical. You can't get any blinder than that. Let's say that the Jews gave up all the media and gave it over to you. You ain't going to do nothing with it, because that's not the problem. But everybody blaming somebody instead of understanding what's really going on and help. I counsel with men and women from Israel. As a matter of fact, our father and son was in recently from Israel for counseling. It's the same spiritual problem. And money will not solve it. Owning the media ain't going to solve it. You must be born again of the Father. Of the Father. It's a spiritual battle. It's not physical at all. It's spiritual. Let me go to Chris, a first-time call out of Florida. Chris, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
I just had a couple comments. Your videos have really been helping me a lot in my life, just to understand women's nature and the evilness and how to not get emotional when I'm up against that, and also whatever you hate, you become. So that's really been helping me to not only recognize that, but also to just not be a beta male, just to, have no emotion about it, just recognize it and for what it is, and don't let it consume me. So that's helped me out with my Christianity as well. Is also, the idea of the spiritual, feel Christianity and not just be like a Bible thumper, for example.
Yeah.
That's helped me. All those ideas have really helped me out, transform my life, I guess. And about Trump, a lot of people, their hatred, for example, just wanted to kill the messenger and the message, So the message a lot of the message that Trump was trying to deliver was good, but because the deliverer, they didn't like, they just killed the message. So being hateful, it's no good.
I wish that people understood the depths of anger. It is pure evil, and it totally blinds you to what's really going on. And then people push anger as good when it's really evil.
Oh, I agree with that 100%. And I now recognize that. And it's through your teachings and your YouTube channel and everything. It's really been beneficial to me, and I'm sure thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people.
Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
I actually have, and it's because of watching you on YouTube recently in the past few months. And I noticed I was becoming my mother. Very emotional, very not evil, but like just angry. And I'm like, why can't I get ahead the way I know I should and let my true nature come out? And so when I started hearing that, it clicked with me, and I'm like, wow, I'm becoming my mother. I was becoming my mother, or was.
And
so now that I gave her, yes, sir.
And how did it go when you went and forgave her?
Well, she's just like, whatever, she didn't understand what I meant and, whatnot. But, but that, the point was, for me, I wasn't really expecting anything understanding to come from her.
Yeah.
But for me, I mean, it was a big step for me.
Good, man. And how about your father?
Well, he's passed away several years ago, but also, he didn't know how to handle my mother.
Yeah.
So he resented her, and then he became like my mother, and then he couldn't protect me in that way. So like what you're saying in your videos, the ones that I saw, it makes a lot of sense. If you don't know how to handle the disposition of a woman, and her nature, then you're going to, kind of collapse under her pressure.
Yeah.
And then, you can't protect the family, so to speak. So, yeah, I got it, and I definitely saw it in my life.
Amazing. Nice, man. Well, stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. And, Chris, you haven't seen anything yet. Now that your heart has changed from that anger to love, your mind will be renewed, and you will have a clear mind. And things that you didn't know about yourself that's in there, you will overcome it, and you will see what's going on with others, and it would be impossible to resent. It would be impossible to hate anymore.
Thank you, sir, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. Are you doing the silent prayer?
I have done it a couple times, and I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, finish your point.
It's difficult to calm my mind. So that's another one of your teachings is like the devil likes to make you always scatterbrained and not want to just focus on one thing and be calm. So it's difficult, but I'm actively doing it. And I just see the benefits of that, just calming your mind and having just your focus back. It's like having your soul back.
And you don't want to calm your mind. Don't you try to calm it yourself. You want to be able to see it. And when you sit still and relax, you see what's going on in the thoughts. And you see that you're not your thoughts. And it's the light of God that is allowing you to see that, the darkness. And as you just watch it, you are overcoming it. The darkness is being destroyed. So you don't want to struggle with it at all. You just want to sit back as though you're watching a movie and just watch it. That's all you need to do.
Yes, sir.
And for a while, you're going to be going in and out because you've been so accustomed to living in thoughts. And you're going to go in and out, but don't judge that. Just be aware of yourself going in and out of them. And eventually, the thoughts become weaker and weaker and weaker because the light can defeat the darkness. The darkness cannot defeat the light, but the light can defeat the darkness. And eventually, they'll all be gone, and you will live a life of knowing rather than thinking. You'll be fine. So stay with it.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
All right. Right on. I wish you well, Chris. Amazing call. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Bye. Amazing. 888-775-3773. Let's go to a first-time call out of New York. John. John, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey.
Hey, John.
Hey, man. How you doing?
All is well.
How's your day?
All is well, buddy. What's going on?
Nothing. Chilling.
All right. Well, thanks for calling. I appreciate that.
Wait, I'm not done.
Oh, what's up?
Have you read the Gospel of Barnabas?
Who?
The Gospel of Barnabas?
No.
No?
Uh-uh.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Jose X 436 of the Levites. He used to go preach with Paul.
He used to do what?
He used to go preach with Paul.
He used to go preach to a pole?
No, with Paul.
Oh, I heard of Barnabas. Yeah, I heard it, but I never read a gospel of Barnabas.
Yeah.
And he used to go preach with Paul?
Well, he brought Paul to the disciples, and he had to get the green light from the disciples to preach, but the disciples were afraid of him. You remember that story?
No, I don't. And your question about him is what? I mean, your point about him is what?
Oh, no, I just wanted to know if you knew him. I was going to ask you if you read it.
No, I have not read. I am familiar with the name, but I've never read the Gospels of him.
Well, I'm Muslim. Have you ever read the Quran?
You Muslim?
Yeah.
And why are you Muslim?
Because Jesus was a Muslim.
Well, why are you Muslim?
Because Jesus was a Muslim.
No, but why are you one?
Because it's the only religion. Islam's the only religion that will be accepted by Allah.
How old are you?
The age of Jesus.
How old are you?
The age of Jesus.
All right, I got to run, buddy. Thanks for your call. All right.
Wait.
How old are you?
I told you, 33.
No, you said the age of Jesus. I don't know how old Jesus is. What the? But go ahead. And why are you Muslim?
Because Jesus prayed to God in the garden.
So do you love the Christians and the Jews?
Do I love?
Do you love the Christians and the Jews?
The Jews? Yeah, I love the Jews that support.
Do you love the Christians and the Jews?
I don't hate him.
Do you love the Christians and the Jews?
I would love for them to be Muslim, yes.
Do you love the Christians and the Jews?
Yes, I would love for them to be Muslim.
Do you love the Christians and the Jews?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And
I would love for them.
I didn't ask you if you want them to be Muslim. I asked if you love them.
I don't hate anybody.
Do you love the Christians and the Jews?
Yeah, I guess.
Do you love... Do you love the Christians and the Jews?
I already answered you. Do you love the Muslims?
Yes. Do you love the Christians and the Jews?
Yes, I would love for them to be Muslim.
Goodbye.
Wait.
I'm asking you where you're going, and you tell me where you've been. One last time. Do you love the Christians and the Jews?
I'll tell you where I was at.
Do you love? Is there such a thing as infidels?
Infidels?
I
don't even know what that means.
You don't know what an infidel is?
No, I forgot.
Do you love the Christians and the Jews?
You're funny, man. Listen, is Jesus all knowing?
No,
all wise?
I asked you a question. Do you love the Christians and the Jews?
Look, I'm not here to debate. I want to bring you to Islam.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Quick break. Back in a moment. Your phone calls 888-775-3773. Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry. because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good, or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. Okay, folks, welcome back. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. TheHakeReport.com from 9 to 11 a.m. And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby show. The American Anchor Baby. From at 12 noon today. Did you see the American Anchor Baby show this weekend? Oh, my God. If you didn't podcast it. Podcast it. Let me go quickly back to John, a first-time caller out of New York. And John says that he is a Muslim. And John.
Alhamdulillah. Hey, man.
John, do you love the Christians and the Jews?
So, are you telling me that I can't love someone who's a Jew or a Christian?
John, do you love the Christians and the Jews?
Okay. Do you know the story of Prophet Muhammad?
Yeah, I got to run, buddy. You're not answering that question. I can't answer your question if you don't answer my question.
Already, sir. Okay, yes.
And do you, is there such a thing as infidel?
I told you, I don't know what that word means. I forgot.
You never heard that word at all?
Infidel. Is it like edibles?
So you never heard that word?
I don't remember what it was.
So a non-believer.
I've heard it, no. I've heard it.
I know you have. The Muslim call it a non-believer. Do you believe that Christians and Jews are infidels?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
You do know. You don't know if you believe that or not.
Well, I don't know if they're infidels. I don't know that.
You don't know if you believe that because that's what your little religion thing teach.
You know what the Quran says about Christians?
What?
That they're the closest to faith to us, actually.
What?
Yeah.
You say it says what?
It says that they're like the closest to faith to us.
Oh, they're the closest to faith as a Muslim?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You want me to read the verse for you?
No.
No? Okay.
This is not Bible Thumping Thursday. Let me ask, what do you think about the Muslims that cut off people's heads?
I don't know. What do you think of the Crusaders that cut off people's heads? I don't know. I can't answer for them.
Yeah, what do you think about the Muslims that cut off people's heads?
What do you think of the cartels that cut off people's heads? What do you want me to say?
So you're not going to answer that either?
Like, what do you want me to say? Like, I'm not the one chopping off heads.
I asked, what do you think about it?
I don't know. What do you think of the 2 billion Muslims around the world that are not doing that?
Thank you, Jada. I appreciate you, buddy. Nice call. Super chat. 888-773-773. 888-77-JESSE. Super chat.
From church, and over the weekend, someone bought you a coffee. Jesse, I asked ChatGPT how to kill my ego. It visualized a black woman smiling. I presume this is the robot visualizing the face I would have once the ego died. It thinks I'm a black woman? Crying face emoji, laughing emoji.
Amazing. Thank you.
Ralph bought you 30 coffees. Very generous. Thank you. Thanks, Jesse and crew. Dylan bought you 5 coffees. Hey, Jesse. In the past couple of years, my father and mother have expressed that they are no longer with Christ anymore. I am 19 years old and I have attended Christian school and church since I was very little. I pray every morning and night, still attend church every Sunday. I just need a little guidance with this. It is affecting me and my younger brothers and sister. Thanks, Jesse. You're amazing.
So, that's a guy?
Yeah, Dylan.
He said that his...
Well, Dylan could be either way, but...
He said his father and mother is what?
No, they have expressed they are no longer with Christ.
That they are no longer with Christ?
Mm-hmm.
And he's been affected by it?
Yeah, I think he said he's 19. Yeah, he's 19 years old. He's attended church, Christian school, since being very little. Presumably, the parents put him through all that. He prays morning and night, still attends church every Sunday, and he says it's affecting him and his younger siblings, brothers and sister.
Why would you be... okay, you're 19, I can understand. Don't be affected by it. Just wish them well, and you stay with it. You know, you're not supposed to be affected by anything that anyone else does. It's not hurting you, it's them. It's not affecting you. It's on them. So just wish them well and go live your life. Don't be angry at them, and tell your brother and sister not to be angry at them either. They have a right. Christ or God and God is not upset at them about it at all. They're like, oh, well. That means that they never believed anyway. Because once you know the Father, you cannot unknow the Father. You know what I mean? You can't change your mind. What now? So just wish them well. Don't be upset. Don't be angry. That way you won't be bothered by it. Don't judge them. They have a right to live their own life however they want to live it. All right? So just wish them well. You're 19 now. Go and live your life. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Matthew out of Georgia bought 20 coffees. My father was a deeply flawed man, but I forgave him. He always said, be a good giver on the Lord. Give to his kingdom. That said, I had a tough week, not by God, but my past sins. But in my heart, I knew you speak the truth of the life and resurrection. My saddest moment was that I would not be able to give what you deserve. I chose to sit still and follow him, and he has again blessed me with abundance. It is a privilege and honor of the utmost regard to give to him and to you. This is Matthew out of Georgia.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Jeremiah bought a coffee. Biblical question answer from last week.
Oh. Why are you afraid of anyone on earth?
Fear comes from a thought. No thoughts, no fear. The real me is not afraid of anyone. The devil has just convinced me I am. Also, the secret to making boys first is to stand up like the JLP intro, laughing face emoji.
What now?
Making me nervous.
I know. I thought you were about to say it.
Cartoon for food.
But standing up. I don't know how to do it.
Didn't you guys used to...
I remember my father, when my father created me, by putting me in the oven of my mother. My mother told my father that she was pregnant, and he didn't believe it because when they made me, they were standing up. And in Alabama, we used to believe that you couldn't make a baby standing up doing that. And my mother like, what the? But he made me standing up while they were standing up. So, but standing up is not the solution to making a baby. I mean, a boy. But you can make, if you knew the solution, you can make a boy while standing and doing that. You know what I mean?
I follow.
Hey.
I said I follow.
Huh?
Next super chat.
What? Bang.
Alpha. Cartoon for food on Rumble yesterday during church.
You got to know how to rumble.
JLP has the best crew on the internet.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. That's nice.
Yeah. Thank you. You're right about that. It's amazing.
Pewter Robel bought 5 coffees. Thank you, Jesse, and the team for the best fellowship on this side of heaven. Amazing.
Amazing.
Thumbs up emoji.
If you missed it, folks, check out, you can go to rebuildingthefamily.com/church. You can podcast. All right?
It's actually rebuildingtheman.com/church.
What did I say?
Rebuildingthefamily.
Oh, no. Rebuildingtheman.com. Sorry. /church. Thank you.
Someone bought 3 coffees. Is it just me, or does the devil try to pounce on me more the more I try and work on myself? Thank you, and the crew for pointing. Thank you for all the fellowshipping.
Amazing. You're welcome. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it.
Marcus bought you 2 coffees. I finally discovered the major trigger for my loneliness, fear of people, and confrontation. The constant desire for friends came when my father did not protect me or teach me to deal with bullying. As a child and now, I see he's never been able to deal with confrontation or my mother's anger, except with machismo. And I'm a worse version of him. I forgave him for being a weak man and for moving us to a new place, but didn't apologize for my own judgment or resentment that I was unaware of. Should I do this as well?
Repeat that part.
I forgave him for being a weak man and for moving us to a new place, but didn't apologize for my own judgment and resentment that I was unaware of.
Yeah, if you haven't apologized for resenting him, you have not forgiven. Because forgiveness means that I see that I'm wrong for judging you, for resenting, for being angry at you. And I'm sorry for that. I'm wrong. And that's what forgiveness is. And you shall go free once you do that. So, yes, I recommend it. Thank you.
From Steve Strack, bought 5 coffees. Is the evil I'm overcoming inside of me, or is all of it outside of me always trying to get me to go back into my imagination?
It's inside of you. It's always inside of you, and it's outside of you too, but inside of others. So that has nothing to do with you, but it's in you. It's inside of you, in your world. Amazing.
Lily Poo on Rumble, a Rumble rant. Jesse, you are amazing. Thank you, Bond family. Thank God for all of you and Donald Trump.
Thank you. Let me see what the Great White Hope has to say today. Speaking of the Great White Hope.
We are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people.
Amazing.
The people.
Amazing. Thank you.
This morning, Diane bought 5 coffees. Are most secular movies and music controlled by the Illuminati? He just laughs.
I don't know. I don't know if I even know what the Illuminati is.
Same.
Yeah.
That's the point of the Illuminati, for you not to know what it is.
So I don't know. Interesting question.
Micmac America bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, I did the silent prayer last night for the first time and again this morning. Why are there so many thoughts all at once when I do it? It's crazy. Thanks.
They've always been there, but you just have not seen them. You've been living in them, but you've always had all those thoughts. And that's what they're there because they don't want you to have that quiet time. So they're constantly feeding you a thought. But they've always been there. So stay with the silent prayer. These are your thoughts. This is you. And God is bringing you out of those thoughts so you can see what's going on. I once was blind, but now I see. So stay with it, and just watch them. And they will start to dissipate. Amazing.
Brett bought
You like that word?
Dissipate?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, spell it.
I don't know.
Brett bought you 5 coffees.
Never asked a black man to spell.
Yeah, it's not fair. Brett, with 5 coffees, after praying silently and letting go of thoughts for almost a year, I took a big step. Physical pain had weighed heavily on me my whole life. And though it was the hardest thing I had ever done, I started to relax in it, notice, and let it go. My whole life, I believed Satan's control was my pain. I can see now.
Right on. Nice. Stay with it. Let me go to some calls real fast.
Okie dokie.
And remember when you stopped off. Thank you all so much. Thanks for the super chat. We'll get back to them. I want to go quickly to the phones here. Let me go to Tony out of New York. Tony, welcome to the show. You're on the air. I mean, Tom, not Tony. Sorry about that. Tom.
Hi, Jason.
Hey, Tom.
I didn't know it was me for a second. I thought it was Tony.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem. So, yeah, I wanted to call. I was watching an old church service of yours.
Yeah.
And you were talking about forgiving your mother and how evil comes through the woman, and the resentment that we have is basically caused by our mothers, and that we have to return to the fathers. The same message, and that you're usually talking about. And somebody in the crowd was like, why is it so important that we know that it came from our mothers? Why can't we just say, well, our resentment came from our parents and it's no good, blah, blah, blah. And so you responded to him and said, yeah, that's a good point. It really doesn't matter. But why is it so important in the fallen state? And so anyway, the way you responded to him has had me thinking. And for some reason it is. Like, everybody wants to believe, I'm seeing that everybody wants to believe that the woman's love is the real love, and the man's love, the father's love, is the toxic, bad love. Everybody wants to see it the opposite way. And it was just something I noticed, and I was talking to my wife about it, and I said, if you went out and preached the message that Jesse's talking about, and just reversed it, everybody would love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you just flipped it around and said, well, resentment comes from our toxic fathers, and our mothers couldn't do anything about it because our fathers were just too toxic, that everybody would love and want to hear your message.
That's true. And the reason for that, and they have been teaching for a long time now, that it was the father's fault for the destruction of the family.
Right, yeah.
And everybody, most people have been agreeing with that. And they made the woman look like she's just an angel sent by God.
Yes.
And then once you bring the truth as to what's really going on, you're right. They don't want to hear that. And the reason they don't want to hear that the hatred is coming from the mother and the love is from the father is because men, they may be beta, but men represent the father. And
yes.
The evil that's in the woman, it hates the representative of good, of God. So that's why it's constantly lying on the men and trying to destroy them, because evil working through the woman doesn't want light to enter into the world. It only wants darkness. And it even knows that it works through the woman and nothing comes from that but darkness. So that's why the men are under such an attack.
Yeah, and it's something that I've noticed my whole life. I knew that, like, growing up just in my situation, like, I knew that the good in my home was from my father. I just knew it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was unique. I'm like, all right, well, maybe some other places, it's different. And I'm realizing now that my situation wasn't unique.
Right.
But yeah, it was just always clear to me. It was clear. It was crystal clear.
Nice.
That,
Does your wife obey you?
I'm gonna say no, but she's learning to.
Oh, good. So she's working on herself.
She's working on herself. She's doing the prayer, and she's getting better. I see the progress. Let me tell you something. I'm glad you mentioned that. I've known my wife for years, and we had a very kind of like tumultuous kind of relationship, and I just was always drawn to her, and whatever. So anyway, for years and years, I didn't know how to deal with what was going on. I didn't understand what was going on at all. And once I started working on myself, it literally after years and years of failing miserably, I see now like how to handle the situation.
Yeah.
And I see that it's not her. And I'm starting to see even more that it's the evil coming through.
Yeah.
And she's completely unaware. I think she's oblivivious.
Yeah.
If anything.
Yeah.
And then but the way I'm able to respond to situations now is just 100 times different.
Nice. Amazing.
And, yeah, like the other day we got into a little something, or no, we didn't get into anything actually. I was walking out the door going to the gym, and I could see that she wanted to start in with me on something.
Yeah.
And I just looked at her and I just saw that she was ready to go. And she started talking and saying something, and I just turned around and walked out the door with zero anger.
Nice.
Zero. And then, it was over in 5 minutes after.
Yeah. That's right. Don't fight with the devil.
Once you explained and I saw that the anger was what was behind it all.
Yeah.
It just, everything just fell into place in my mind. But yeah, she's working on herself.
Have she gone and forgiven her mother?
She did. She called on the show, actually, and talked about it. I drove her. We went all the way to her place in Missouri. She forgave.
Nice.
And she's, sometimes and myself, still identifying with it. It's only been a couple months.
Right.
But yeah, I believe that it's headed in a positive direction, and I couldn't say that confident for forever.
Nice. Well, stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. You haven't seen anything yet. It gets better and better and clearer. It's amazing. So both of you stay with it, man. And it's beautiful that both of you are working on yourself. If both of you are doing it, your marriage should last until death do you part.
Yeah, and it's just we're both seeing. We were talking this morning how clear the evil, how clearly we could see evil working now in other people.
Yep. Absolutely. Tom, amazing call. Thank you, man. Call me again, all right?
All right. Take care, Jesse.
Cool. Amazing. Another hour to go. There's 2 hours gone already. Another hour to go. When I come back, your phone calls and super chats. 888-775-3773. There is a line open. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news, but the hate news. And I'll be back in a moment. Back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. It's a shame. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's Monday. Again, everybody loves Mondays. October 16th, 2023 AD. There is one line open. You can call in to JLP to get on air in the third hour, and he will get to you. But first, Hake News on Fake News. After the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, we do have the Hake Report, and after that, American Anchor Baby at noon Pacific time today. Catch him on YouTube and Rumble, and also he is Gorgon's Ola on D-Live. Nice. Even India is turning debased. Coming Nonsense Network CNN reports India, the world's largest so-called democracy and most populous country, does not recognize so-called same-sex marriage, effectively barring millions of so-called LGBTQ couples from certain legal benefits and insurance. All about the money? However, things may change soon as India's Supreme Court is expected to rule in a consequential case that could dismantle the country's marriage ban, they call it, and reimagine some of its conservative societal rules. What a mess, huh? And the House Speaker fight. The divided House of Representatives in America is now in its 13th day operating without a speaker. Latest candidate, Republican Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio, will apparently try to force a floor vote tomorrow, despite lacking the support needed to win the gavel. One GOP source said Jim Jordan may decide to go multiple ballots on the floor if necessary. That's what Kevin McCarthy, I think, had to do, right? Am I wrong? I think I'm right. Jim Jordan initially ran against House Majority Leader Steve Scalise of Louisiana, who went on to become the GOP Speaker nominee. But the Louisiana Republican Steve Scalise dropped out of the race abruptly last week after facing a block of hardened opposition. And another Afghanistan earthquake. A powerful 6.3 magnitude earthquake struck Afghanistan Sunday, just days after that other deadly quake devastated its western Herat province. With the region already reeling from recent seismic activity, global aid groups and rescue teams say the country is now facing an escalating humanitarian crisis. Humanitarian, there's that word again. I'm shaking my head. On top of a war and a collapsed economy, Taliban government officials estimate more than 2,000 people across Herat province have been killed, more than 90%. And I think, is that from the previous one? No, I don't know. Whatever. More than 90% of those were women and children, by the way, according to UN agencies and officials on the ground. And bed bugs in Europe. Have you heard about this? Bed bug paranoia is growing in Europe, according to the Common Nonsense Network, leaving many locals and travelers anxious about encountering the unwanted critters. That's also called creatures, which means God created them. Hey, Christian Common Nonsense. Paris has reported a widespread rise in bed bugs this fall. Paris has been known to be dirty for quite some time now. It's a shame, including sightings on public transit. Concerns have also spread to other cities and countries. London, the Netherlands. As for precautionary measures, experts say travelers should inspect their rooms before unpacking, including a cursory bed check. This means pulling back sheets and blankets from the mattress and inspecting the seams of the mattress, particularly the head area. Experts also recommend not placing your suitcase on the floor in a corner of a room, as this increases the chance of bringing bed bugs home with you. What a mess. Suzanne Summers died at 76. Rest in peace, Suzanne Summers, S-O-M-E-R-S. The actress best known as Chrissy Snow in the Three's Company, that degenerate 70s sitcom, died on Sunday, her longtime publicist reported. She was 76, like I said. Following her exit from the show in 1981, she became an author, a talk show host, and a wellness entrepreneur, like a fitness gal. Anyway, another train derailment was deadly. 10 freight train cars derailed off a bridge in Colorado on Sunday, killing one person, blanketing a portion of Interstate 25 with coal. There's photos of the scene, and it shows mangled train cars toppled across the highway and mounds of coal on the ground. Well, what a mess. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
got to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to this third hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. My brand new biblical question for this week, and it's another doozy. What is the boomerang in your life? What is the boomerang in your life? What is it? We have every way that you can watch and support this show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. You can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad if you're busy right now and can't sit and watch it. You can podcast it later, but you can be listening while you're doing what you're doing, whatever it is you're doing, by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy.tv/JLP. Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe, and blah, blah, blah. You like my background? Even though I'm told Halloween's like 15 days away? Right? Yeah. But the Anchor Baby created that. It's beautiful, huh? Ooh, it's scary. Look at that wind blowing, smoke coming out the chimney. Remind me of Alabama. What the? The Anchor Baby did that. Thank you, Anchor Baby. Don't forget to donate and have your comments read out loud. Go to buymeacoffee.com. Buymeacoffee.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. And Bond on JLP Cash App. Bond on JLP Cash App. Bond on JLP Cash App. Amazing. So listen, let me tell you this, and then I will get back to your calls. You know there is a war happening over in Israel right now between the Palestinian and Israel. And so there are a lot of refugees leaving both Israel, well, not refugees, but a lot of Palestinians, according to reports, and Jews are leaving. There are American Jews coming back here, and some people want the Palestinians to come here. And I told you that my country is gone forever. They have all the wrong people in the right places to make sure my country never returns. Here's an example of a wrong person in the right place to make sure. And these people like deliberately making sure that America never return. And if you doubt me, talk to South Africa, Mommy Africa. These same kinds of people took over from the white man, and it just it's a total destruction now. So same thing happening in my country. It's no longer tears of thee. Here's a person that's the wrong person in the right places to make sure that America never return. Nothing but ghetto. This is from The Blaze. Jamal Bowman directed the U.S. to accept some of the 1 million Palestine refugees. 1 million, accept some, as though we don't have enough illegals coming here. Refugees, they want us to, this black guy want us to accept some of the 1 million Palestinian refugees. Bowman is currently being investigated for pulling a fire alarm during a vote to avert a government shutdown. Why this investigation still going on? Did we see him pull it? Investigation done. Amazing, huh? This is from the New York Post. Federal law enforcement stopped 160 people listed on the terror watch list from entering the U.S. illegally at America's border this year. The highest number ever on the terrorist list. And Bowman wants you to bring some more in. Just bring them all in so we can make sure America never returns. Watch this from Fox.
2 years now, Border Patrol agents have been telling us they've got extreme concerns about who is crossing our southern border, primarily because so many agents have been pulled off the front lines to instead focus on processing, and that then leaves gaps in our border where we simply have nobody out on patrol, and the numbers are startling. We'll start with the terror watch list numbers. Fiscal year 2023 so far, 151 people on the FBI's terror watch list have been arrested by Border Patrol agents while they were crossing illegally here at our southern border. That is the highest number on record. It's also higher than the previous 6 years combined. The highest number under Trump was 6. We got 151 this year so far. Now, the Biden administration says, well, that shows they're catching more people, right? Not exactly. We'll talk about the gotaways. CBP sources telling us since President Biden took office, there have been well over 1.5 million known gotaways at our southern border. These are illegal immigrants who are crossing the border and are seen on cameras or sensors, but Border Patrol doesn't have the manpower to get to them, so they successfully get into the United States without capture. For perspective, that is a population size bigger than the city of Dallas, Texas, that has successfully snuck across our border and gotten into the United States without apprehension.
Wow. Just think about the hell to come in America. It's going to get worse. I'm warning you. It's going to get worse. It's going to make these times look like a holiday. We've been set up for it. Exactly what happened in South Africa and around the country, around the world, is what's happening in America right now. The enemies are here, and the enemies are already here. And this guy Bowman want let some more in to accept some of the 1 million Palestinian refugees. We are infidels to these folks. We are infidels, and that's not good news. You're bringing your own enemy into your country, and you vote for it. Now do you believe me about the blacks? Not all, but most. This is what you get. And you know what we do? We give them everything they want. Our tax dollars. The border's wide open. Think about the ones they're not catching. If 160 they have caught, think about the ones on the terror list that we're not catching. This is from the Daily Mail. We give them everything. A former worker at New York Row Hotel has come forward to reveal the disgusting condition migrants are keeping in their hotel room, which the city is footing the bill. Watch this from Turning Point USA.
New York City, the thriving and fast-paced metropolis, is currently in a state of emergency as over 60,000 illegal immigrants have made their way into the area. Mayor Eric Adams has recently declared that 50% of the hotels in the city are now filled with migrants, and for the first time, we're getting an exclusive look at what the inside of one of these hotels looks like.
So in the hotel, we have close to 5,000 migrants. It hovers between 4,800 to 5,000. Everything ranging from doctor's visits to medication is paid for the migrants. Car seats, cribs for newborns. There's, I want to say, at least 2 to 3 babies a week being born at this hotel.
Carlos also shares that the migrants receive laundry services, housekeeping, and 3 meals a day alongside their hotel rooms.
Anything you can possibly think of, it's being given to them. They have IDs from the city of New York.
And what can they do with those IDs?
Well, a lot of people in this hotel are working with that ID. Aside from that, they're receiving, I've seen food stamps, cards arrive, a lot of services that are provided to them just for having this ID. The migrants being in those hotels have destroyed them. There's a lot of alcohol in these rooms, and they'll clean it, and by the end of the night, there's kids getting drunk together.
Wow. Why not? They're getting everything free, and some of them are working and getting everything free, while the American citizens suffer. While you're suffering. Over 50% of the hotels have illegal aliens now, according to that report. Now, do you believe me when I say my country is not coming back? I know a lot of people don't want to accept it. Oh, give a darn if he does. Come home, Paul. I won't accept him. Amazing, huh? Did you ever think that this would happen in America? It's going to only get worse. It's going to only get worse. May God have mercy on my country. If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. And talk about based Polish man. I'm going to give you an example of based. What does based mean, Hassan?
I'd rather not say.
You don't know what based means?
I do, but I
oh, it's something bad?
It could be dangerous.
A base could be bad?
It depends who you ask, and you ask me, so it could be.
Oh, yeah? What does base mean, Sean? Just mean base in the truth. Oh, just mean base in the truth. How can that get you in trouble? Just mean base in the truth. Well, this is from the Ohio Star. Speaking of base, man, this is from the Ohio Star and Fox. Tucker Carlson interviewed Parliament member Dominic Tarkinski, whose decision revolved around the effects of illegal immigration. Watch this from X.
How many refugees has Poland taken?
0.
And Jean-Claude Juncker, the Commission president, says that you're racist. You sound proud of the fact that you haven't taken any refugees.
This is why Poland is so safe. This is the reason why we had not even one terrorist attack. Look at the streets in Poland, and we can be called populists, nationalists, racists. I don't care. I care about my family and about my country.
They are not refugees. They are illegal migrants who committing crime. They are criminals. We are not afraid to say no. Most of the spineless politicians, leftist politicians in here, in European Parliament, in Brussels, they are afraid. Poland is the safest country in Europe. And the question is, why? We don't have stabbings, we don't have rapes in parks, we don't have all this rubbish in Poland. Why? Because we are very, very strict on migration. President Trump was right about the wall. We built the wall, and no one is able to come to Poland. We love it. We love our culture. We love our language. We love our food. We love our family values. We love everything what is about Poland because this is our land. That's very simple. That's a common sense. That's nothing unusual for us, for Polish, to be brave, to believe in our own nation, to love our families, to take care about our families and our country, and then think about someone else. That's so simple.
Based. Remember when America was like that? We didn't have all these illegal aliens. We didn't have all the trouble we have in our country now. We didn't have it. And the mess that started in the black communities was because of the civil rights movement. When they started killing one another, remember the hoods started going bad because the blacks began to, the men were leaving their homes and the blacks began to get welfare. All that mess started then. This is what happens when you give people stuff and they don't earn it. Based. Dominic Tarskinsky. As usual, don't you wish we could have our country back like that? One white man standing up and said, I don't care what y'all think. What the? I'm putting my country first, my family. I love our food. I love our language. We're losing our language in America. Now when you call a company, if you speak English, hit 1. If you speak Spanish, hit 2. If you speak hit 3. What a mess. How about English First? Remember that movement, English First movement? Years ago, some of you don't know this, but when the illegals started coming into our country, they were speaking Spanish and all that. There was a movement called English First. That died away. You don't even hear about that anymore. As usual, the great white hope, Donald Trump, said it best. Watch this from CBS.
On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and as soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed that vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, oh heavens, you would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed him and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite. I have saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, heavens, why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
Wow. That's deep. That's the illegal alien situation of our country. He just described it perfectly. And that's what happened with Eve and the snake. She believed him, he bit her. And look what we have coming through the women. That's deep. Amazing. Look, we just showed you what was happening in New York. We getting bit by the illegals. They're bringing them in. They're feeding them. They're giving them everything free. 5-star hotels. And we're getting bit. Bitten. They're just biting us. I mentioned English First Movement at one time. That was done by former Congressman Steve King, a Republican from Iowa. He fought for English as the official language of the state of Iowa. That's from Wikipedia. We get bit by the snake. We let them in, our people and everybody, and they are biting us. And last but not least, speaking of Trump, he has a brand new campaign ad. Watch this.
Millions of Americans sincerely love Donald Trump. They love him in spite of everything they've heard. They love him often in spite of himself. They love Donald Trump because no one else loves them. The country they built, the country their ancestors fought for over hundreds of years, has left them to die in their unfashionable little towns, mocked and despised by the sneering half-wits with finance degrees but no actual skills who seem to run everything all of a sudden. Whatever Donald Trump's faults, he is better than the rest of the people in charge. At least he doesn't hate them for their weakness. Donald Trump, in other words, is and has always been a living indictment of the people who run this country. Trump rose because they failed. It's as simple as that. If they'd cared about anything other than themselves, even for just a moment, Donald Trump would still be hosting Celebrity Apprentice. But they didn't. Instead, they were incompetent and narcissistic and cruel and relentlessly dishonest. They wrecked what they didn't build. They lied about it. They hurt anyone who told the truth about what they were doing. That's true. We watched. America is still a great country, the best in the world, but our ruling class is disgusting. A vote for Trump is a vote against them. That's what's going on in this country.
Wow. Amazing. The Dream Team, Donald Trump, the president of Israel, what's his name? Of Israel? Bibi Netanyahu and Dominic Tarkinski, the Dream Team. See, white folk, y'all can do it if you would do it. Speak up in the right way. Get involved in the right way. I love that ad. That's amazing. And that was Tucker Carlson reading the ad, a voice of the ad. I love that story from Donald Trump about the snake and the woman. It reminds me of Adam and Eve when Eve listened to the serpent. He became her God. He bit her. And Adam told her, hey, stay away from him. No. And she would not obey. Adam should have adopted her. Then we wouldn't have had to go through it. The men would have to go through it. Amazing. Let me go quickly to William out of California. William been waiting for a minute. William, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
All good, Jesse. How was your weekend?
All is well, William. Thank you.
I usually call James, but I'll call him later. But that call you had from Texas was on point. That man down there in Texas that was talking about the Palestinians and how the Jewish gave them everything. And they did the thing same as the snake.
Yep.
They gave him everything. But what he did that was genius. The man said something that was on point. I was thinking about it for 2 weeks. The situation in Israel is very similar to the blacks here in America getting everything they want, and they still turn around and bite.
Yeah, that's what happened when I went to Israel. I didn't know much about the Palestine before I went there. And when I went there, I saw them myself. They were angry at the Jews,
Yes.
so they were sitting down in the city of David, which could be a beautiful area. But they turned it into a ghetto.
Yeah.
And they were sitting there mad at the Jews, and the Jews are keeping their area clean, look like paradise. It reminded me of the blacks and the whites here in America. I'm like,
It's
wow, that's just like
exactly
back
the same.
home.
Yeah, Jesse, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
If you notice, they act similar to the blacks. You know, you got, they gave them the area, they gave them the leadership that they have. The Israelis gave them that. And the people that they left in charge took the money that was all donated to them and used it for tunnels and weapons.
Amazing. Yeah.
And so now when you get all of these atrocities during the attack, you got people here in America and the Palestinians celebrating this. Doesn't that seem like the same thing that the blacks do over here? It's like they almost celebrate the demise of America.
The more land that Israel gave up, the worse the Palestinians got. They did not do it. And the same way in America, the more land that they give the blacks. The whites leave their community, and the more land they leave back there for the blacks, the worse the blacks get. And the same thing happened in South Africa. The white man gave up the city to the blacks, and now it's hell. And they going out to the farmland trying to hurt the white man.
And they're all celebrating these actions.
Yeah.
And like, that's horrible in itself. But it's like, do you really think they are going to defeat the IDF, the Israeli military? They're going to get killed. You know, they caught them with their pants down, but they're going. You know what's getting ready to happen? The ground invasions get ready to happen. They're going to tear up everything, and I don't think they'll give it back this time. I just really don't see them giving it back this time because that area is within Israel. You've been there, Jesse. It's right there. This is like a bunch of people in Watts shooting some unguided missiles to Camp Pendleton.
Amazing.
You know Watts is going to lose. Why would you celebrate that?
Yeah. What a mess.
That's it.
That's amazing. William, amazing. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. He's right, folks. It's the same thing everywhere. It's a spiritual battle. And angry people are jealous and enemies of other people. This is the way it is. They won't get out and do it for themselves. They sit back in the city of David and point fingers. Look at them. They got everything. They got it clean. They own the banks. They own everything. I'm jealous. And so instead of me getting up doing for myself, I'm going to crucify them. Like that's going to help them, right? 888, there's one line open, 888-7753-773. Johnny from Oklahoma been waiting a long time as well. Johnny, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How you doing, Jesse?
Hey, Johnny.
I just wanted to talk about what you was talking about earlier about people, the ego. I want to relate to the ego.
Okay.
I'm 71 years old, and I've lived quite a long time, and I've been through the generational stuff, and I've heard a lot of stuff, seen a lot of stuff. I told my wife years ago that the ego is one of the biggest destroyers of our civilization.
Yep.
And that's worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide, every human being.
Yes, sir. And what I've noticed...
Johnny, can you hold that? I know you're waiting for a while. Can you hold? Let me take a break.
Yes.
All right, hold on. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. Short break, one line open, 888-77-JESSE. I'll be right back. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, But because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true, it's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father. Because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663. And we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. Amazing. So listen, the Hake report is coming up at the top of this hour. James Hake is on fire. He's one white man that's not afraid. That's for sure. He is not scared. I was just so scared. When my master said he's sick, I said, yes, sir, master, we sick. And then after the Hake report, the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. The American Anchor Baby. I want to encourage you folks to get on that right track. Get on the track. It's up to you. But if you want to be free, I would encourage you to do it because you ain't seen hell or earth yet. It's coming. I would encourage you to get on that morning train because that evening train may be too late. Get ready and let's go home. The kingdom of heaven is within. Let me go back to Johnny from Oklahoma. Let's see here. Johnny. Why do you holler? Johnny, welcome to, thank you for holding, Johnny. Go ahead.
Yeah, I heard you talking about the ego early. I want to make reference to that in regard to people worship. How people, it seems like in the last part of the 20th century and into the 21st century, we have gotten away from God because we are too much in the ego and people worship. And like I say, I told my wife that this is going to be a problem in the future when people like celebrities, politicians, on and so forth, are going to be worshipped and reverenced by common people.
Yeah.
And it's a sad thing because common people, when they worship people, like you say, that have no substance, that's the only word I can think of right now, it's going to be real bad. YouTube, you understand YouTube, it seems like a system where regular people with no substance, don't even have real jobs, can become celebrities.
Yeah.
And we have people that literally worship nobodies on YouTube. and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the ego. Now, these people are ego fed. They think they're celebrities and they've never done nothing but maybe sell the sailboat or something like this. But if we allow our ego to worship nobodies, what it's going to end up being, it's already there. The public of the United States of America, we don't even vote no more. You know, we got millions of white people out there that don't even vote because they worship people.
It's bad, Johnny, and it's gonna get worse.
I know.
It's gonna get worse. That's why I'm trying to encourage the people. They got to overcome anger and fear, because if they don't, they won't be able to survive the things to come.
But because people are so egotistic and have become their own gods, we don't even vote. We don't even vote no more. So if we don't vote, then nothing's going to happen.
That's right. Look at the type of government we have because of that. They let these people stay in office forever, and they see the destruction of the government. They won't even vote them out. They'll let them stay there. It's crazy, Johnny, but it's only going to get worse. That's what's bad about this whole situation. It's just going to get worse.
Well, you know, it's like I've heard you talk a lot about the ego, and I think there's a direct connection between ego and failure.
100%.
To where it will get to when we worship movie actors, sports people, and on and so forth. I mean, God, that's ugly.
Yeah, amazing.
It's really ugly to me. I don't even watch sports because I think it's so stupid because I see people killing each other at football games and stuff.
It's insane. Johnny, thank you, man. I appreciate your call. Very on the money about what you said, especially about the ego.
Yeah,
it's
I've
all
talked to
ego.
you before. You know, I'm from the Delta. I'm from down there where you're at.
Nice.
I know you missed the South a lot.
Sweet home,
but you're
Alabama.
all stuck over there in L.A.
Yeah. Sweet home, Alabama. Thank you, Johnny.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
All right. Nice talking to you. Bye.
Bye. He's right, fool. In the good old days, as Johnny was saying, people didn't worship like this. They didn't worship, but they appreciated people's talents, but they didn't worship them. They didn't make them their God. Johnny, hey, Johnny. Lady, why do you holler? Have nobody seen your Johnny, darling? I can't get no sleep on this noisy street. I gotta move. I gotta find me a quiet place. You ever heard that song?
No, sir.
There's a couple who live next door. Don't do nothing but fuss and fight. There's a cat that lays under my window and go meow all through the night. Lady, why do you holler? Have nobody seen your Johnny, darling? Amazing. Super chat. Super chat.
Super chats.
Mr. J with a coffee. Sandy told me he gonna try and get Will Smith a counseling session. He's so weak, even a dog can see it. Amazing.
Amazing. Check out the first hour. We did a story about Will Smith. All ego. And his so-called wife, according to the report, no more wife, Jada. It was a mess. Thank you.
Stan69 with a diamond. I think Chris Rock handled the attack very well. Salute emoji.
He did, it seemed.
Coffee talk with Sandra with a diamond. Jesse, I'm calling my mom now. Smiley face.
Nice. My mama don't like you, and she likes everyone. Nice.
Michelle bought 3 coffees, Michelle with 1 L. Stay close to God, everyone. Don't harden your hearts. Jesse makes me smile. Love your singing. Laughing with smiling eyes.
Thank you.
Zuzu CC on. Jesse, good morning. Not hating Jews, but they are problematic to themselves and around the world. They use their power for evil. Look at George Soros, for example. Evil man, a Jew, hating Jew. Star of David emoji.
George Soros is a mess. It's amazing that George Soros, I'm just learning about him over the last couple of years or so, how he can take his money and pay people to destroy nations. That's mind-blowing to me. And the people do it for the money.
Yeah, subversion.
Oh, man, thank you.
He is an enemy, I heard, of Bibi Netanyahu. Bibi Netanyahu is the reason why us mainstream normie conservatives, why we hate George Soros. Anyway, coffee talk with Sandra with a diamond. Jesse,
thank you, Sandra.
Sandra says, Jesse swam and made it.
Huh?
Jesse swam and made it.
What does that mean?
I think it means when your dad stood up, you swam and you made it.
Oh, nice. Thank you. That's for sure.
Hannah's O'Callaghan.
Thank God I was swimming hard up this stream.
With 3 coffees, Hannah's O'Callaghan. Happy Monday to you, Jesse and crew. God bless. Amazing Sunday service yesterday. I was enlightened beyond measure. Working on myself daily. The secret to make boys first. I heard that women must eat a minimum of calories to increase the chances of making boys by 80%. Don't know how much, though. Shrugging emoji.
Thank you. But that's not quite the secret. Because in the good old days, women were not into calories kind of a thing. They had amazing bodies because they just worked the fields all day long. And they was in good shape anyway. But thank you.
Mary McBucket bought 5 coffees. I'm 25. I've got 2 sons. And I ain't make no man standing up.
What? What?
I think it means man. I ain't make no man standing up.
Okay, thank you.
But congrats on the 2 sons. Coffee talk with Sandra with a diamond. Thigh master. Is that Suzanne Summers? Was Suzanne Summers the thigh master gal?
I don't know. When I heard you say she had expired.
Yeah, she died at 76.
And that she was a health something?
Health or fitness
something?
Spokesman.
Health person. I'm like, how the health person gonna die?
I know, it's 76, the tender young age of 76.
What the? She did. May her soul rest in peace.
Coffee talk with Sandra. I like the background very much. Nice job, AB, Anchor Baby.
It is. The Halloween thing in the background. Thank you. Anchor Baby did an amazing job with that. What? Look at the moon. Is that the man in the moon?
Looks like it.
Nice. Thank you.
Bill West with a diamond. Trump doesn't like Netanyahu. I think he stands with Bibi.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know, but I think so.
He may have had his criticisms. Hunter Biden bought a coffee. Hey.
The thing about Trump can disagree with you and still like you.
Yeah.
Just because you disagree doesn't mean he doesn't like the person. Most people with anger don't know that you can disagree and still like the person. If you got anger, you feel like you got to dislike the person to disagree.
Indeed.
What the? Thank you.
Hunter Biden with a coffee. Hi, Jesse and crew. You have helped so much, and I thank you. I emailed Bond looking for work. A gentleman named said he would forward my email to you. I heard you, Jesse. What the? But I'm white, so you know I'm a hard worker. Contrary to my screen name, Hunter Biden, I am a female and want to work. So nice. God bless. I don't know. Doesn't mention that.
What's the name of the first name?
Hunter.
That's the name of the person?
Biden.
That's the name of the person?
That's a screen name, and I can't see the... I don't want to dox her on air, nor
I'm going to look out
nor
for
can
it. If it's Hunter Biden, I'll look for it. The email. I'll let you know. Thank you.
Someone bought 3 coffees. Hi, Jesse. My wife is a narcissist, evil person. I want to leave her, but if I do leave, she will destroy my kids, especially my 12-year-old boy. She will take all her hate on him. How long should I wait before I leave?
Until you see the right time to do it. It's up to you. You know, don't just when you don't see what to do, continue to do what you're doing, but you'll see what to do, when you should leave, and how long you should stay. Just stay present. Thank you.
Shout out to the top contributors on D-Live, Coffee Talk with Sandra, Bill West, Stan 69, Games for Rec, and the rest of the guys. Appreciate you all. And that's all for now.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Amazing. 888-7753-773. That's the line open. Let me go quickly to Matthew, a first-time caller out of Ohio. Matthew, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How you doing?
All is well.
Hi. I just had a quick question. I'm a young, 21-year-old.
Are you on a speakerphone or something?
Here you go. Is that better, Jesse?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. So, I just wanted to know, you've been talking a lot about, I've been seeing some videos about you talking about, the dating and relationships and the head of the house, and that I wanted to know, first off, how do we get society to change back to how it used to be? Because my grandparents said that it used to be different back when they were together. They got married at a young age, and
right.
They've been married 52 years. So how do you think society can switch back to go back in that direction, or do you think society is just done for in that aspect?
Well, you can't change anyone. You can't make them go back. But if you change, then you can start a new generation should you get married and have kids. But just you alone can have an impact. It's individual, not groups. You have to change.
Okay. Gotcha.
And you'll be fine in this crazy world. But it starts with each individual. Most people don't want to change. They love their hell. They love their misery. They love complaining. They love blaming. But if you change, you can have an impact.
Okay.
Amazing. Thank you, man. That's it?
Yeah, I had one other thing. So I was listening earlier about the ego thing.
Yeah.
And I think that it's less of an ego thing, maybe, and more of a consumerist thing, because we've gone to this society where, it's all about consumerism, who has, the best of the best, and I think that maybe if we weren't programmed as much about consumerism, I just think personally that maybe America would be more cohesive, if that makes sense.
Well, if you didn't have an ego, you couldn't be coerced like that. You couldn't be brainwashed. You'd be able to resist what the world is offering. But if you have that ego, then you're subject to the world. And that's what's driving people today. It's the ego, because if you notice, the ego is always pushed as good. When they tell you anger is good, they're promoting the ego. When people blame their situation on someone else, they're pushing the ego. It's all about ego.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's why God said we must be born again. We must overcome the ego, which is the abnormal nature, and take on His nature, which is of good, the normal nature.
All right. Gotcha.
Thank you, Matthew. Amazing call. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, buddy. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Randy out of Georgia. Georgia on my mind. Randy, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yo, hey, what's up, Jesse?
All is well.
Hey, I got a question. Why does everything have to be like black and white? Why can't everything just be how it is? Like, if a person does something, why does his skin color matter? Like, if a black person does something, oh, he's black, it's expected. Or if he's white, it's he's white. Why does everything have to be black and white?
Because the people are blind and they can't see, and they're all ego-driven, and they do that to conquer, to gain power, so-called power, and money for themselves. Because their hearts are wicked. And you're right in that it's not black nor white. It's good versus evil, right versus wrong. But in our country today, Randy, they are pushing anger as good. And anger is bringing on destruction. And the people who are pushing it love it because they're gaining money and power from it, so-called power. So that's why they do it.
All right. Tell me this, Jesse. I listen to you a lot. I like a lot of stuff you say, and it's a lot of stuff, that, I don't agree on, obviously, which is anyone probably, But once I was watching your Rebuild a Man video I seen, and then someone asked you in the crowd or something, but then you said, could you re-explain to me, I'm black and slow? What do you mean by that? Oh, you also said that black people they're not smart enough to be a good actor or get into the good schools as a white man.
Right.
Why did you say stuff like that? Because I'm a black guy myself, but
he black.
Yeah, but why do you say? I'm just so. It just seems so far from what you say, and then you say that. I'm like, how do you go from this and then say that? I'm just so confused. It's just like a gimmick you do, or like, what are you doing, man?
Because in America today and around the world now, black people are not capable of doing it on their own. That's why they cry for affirmative action. They want reparations. And so they cannot rise to the standard of white people, and because they're not capable of doing it. And so they want the white people to lower the SAT scores. They have black people as air traffic controllers, and now there hardly a day goes by where you don't hear of some near crash in the air and landing and all that, because the blacks are not capable of doing it. And so that's why I say that. They want affirmative action. They are begging and blaming, and they mess up neighborhoods and all kind of stuff.
So are they not capable of doing it because they're just, inferior to a white person, or are they just incapable of doing it because they don't want to do it?
Well,
you're saying that they're not capable of doing it. Do they just not want to do it, or are they just, mentally just like dumb or something? I don't. What do you mean by that? They're not capable.
They are inferior to the white man, and if you notice, they call the white man white supremacists, and they are inferior to the white man. They feel less than. They feel incapable of doing it for themselves, and so they even worship the white man by saying that he's superior to them. And the reason let me just say this, then the reason they can't do it too, Randy, is because they are possessed with anger, and that anger blinds them, and it causes them, with the support of other people, it causes them to believe that they cannot do it. It wasn't like that prior to the civil rights movement. Black people were quite capable then. They didn't rely on the government. They didn't blame the white man. They bought land. They had family. They started businesses. And they had to go to an all-black school, but that didn't stop them at all. They were becoming like the Jews. If black people had never joined the movement of blaming, they would be as rich and independent as the Jews are today.
Mm-hmm.
But they turned their lives over to the civil rights movement and other black people, and the civil rights movement was the worst thing that has ever happened to blacks since time existed, except for abortion.
Mm-hmm. So what is there hope for us blacks, or are we just screwed for all of eternity?
Well, there's hope for some, because some black people are waking up and they're dropping their anger. They're going and they're forgiving their mothers. They're returning to the fathers by forgiving their fathers, and they're starting to see, I've been lied to. I can do this. I can be independent too. I can make my own way. They're starting to wake up, but most blacks are doomed. They're not going to wake up around the world. Look at Africa. But most blacks are doomed. Some are waking up. Are you one of those who are waking up?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just... Well, okay, so what do you mean by you say look at Africa? What am I looking at? Are you saying why is it a third country? Is that what you mean by
Yeah, because
that,
the blacks have destroyed South Africa and other parts of Africa. The white man gave Africa over to them, and they destroyed that. And now it's a mess over there. And in Europe and anywhere the blacks dwell, most of them destroy whatever they touch. But some are overcoming, man. Are you overcoming?
I think I've never. How can I overcome something that I never had to overcome it in the first place?
Nice.
I think I'm a normal, person in general. Like, I mean, you can define what's normal, but I don't know. It's just.
Randy, I wish I could talk to you longer, but the clock gonna cut us off. I mean, the computer gonna cut us. Call me again, buddy.
All right. Yep.
I appreciate your call. I am so out of time. The Hake Report is coming up now. HakeReport.com. And after that, the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon today, Pacific time. Get on the straight and narrow, folks. Stand alone. Travel this road by yourself. Forgive, do the silent prayer, and you'll be fine. But you got to forgive your mama and return to your daddy. Take care. Is it Caleb? A first-time call out of Washington, and the call that just dropped. I am so out of time. The latest forum this Thursday night for ladies only at 7 p.m. The women's forum every third Thursday night. So get ready, ladies. It's going to be smooth sailing. Have a good one, folks. The Hake Report is coming up now. Thanks for the super chats and all that. We'll get to the other super chats tomorrow as well. Take care.
You must know that so you can. Something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause so you can. Something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering, or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer. And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax.
Thank you, JLP, for an excellent